inspiration, I'm the stuff of nightmares. I'm a murderer, warrior, a demon let loose on the time stream. A man who's lost his conscience, his friends, even his name. No, I have nothing to say to you. Hello and welcome back to the Doctor Who Marathon. I'm your host McEdam, and today we're going to be talking about Pretty Lies, written by Guy Adams. This is the first story in the fourth and final box set of the War Doctor stories, Casualties of War. And this was sadly released post-mortem after the passing of John Hurt in January, I think it was January 2017. This came out, I believe, in February, so not long before that. This wasn't originally planned to be the final box set. They did actually had written up stories for a fifth box set. However, sadly, because of John Hurt's passing, this was never made, and it also basically set up Big Finish's style of releasing things in 4 box sets, essentially. I mean, we had the 4 box sets thing in the 8th Doctor, but it's here where it became like a regular thing for Big Finish, essentially. So yeah, a very sad release in a sense. But does it live up to John Hurt's fabulous name? Because that guy, he's done so much stuff. He's bloody and Harry Potter, he's the father of Hellboy, for crying out loud. He's the Elephant Man. He's the fucking main character from 1984. He's the villain from V from Vendetta, I believe. It's V for Vendetta. Someone, anyway. But we're talking about Pretty Lies. Now, this story is basically much like previous first stories in the War Doctor box sets, like The Innocent, the Legion of the Lost, and the Shadow Vortex. This is basically a nice setup, not a setup, but a nice smaller story in scale compared to the other 2 releases within the box set. And Guy Adams has done something pretty interesting here. He's tackled what the name of the Doctor means to other people. We've seen what it means to the Doctor and what it and how he's taken it, and how he's basically renounced the name because he's because he's become the warrior now, and he's getting involved in the Time War. But this story shows us what civilians think of the Doctor still. Something which has been touched upon in New Who stories, such as Hellbent, and I'm trying to think of other sort of stories where Time Lords are in it. There's loads of little details like that. Yeah, and it lives, and it likes to, and it's got like a much more smaller plot in this thing, and the interesting dynamic of this story is a very intriguing one. Now, according to the fan base, from what I've read up, this is a very mixed story. There are a majority of people who think it's good, it's okay, it's a bit light, but it's okay. And then there is a group of people who think easily, by far, it is the weakest story in the War Doctor saga. What will I think about it? Well, we'll just have to wait and find out, will we? So let's go on to the covers. This is the official cover here. I'm not too keen on the image of John Hurt in this box. I mean, I like the photo, obviously, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's like in a box. It looks really odd, and you've got this main character here. I'm trying to remember his name. Scandrel, I believe it is Scandrel. Yeah, pretty cool. And like always with these official Big Finish CD covers, I've printed out my own DVD cover. I've taken the image from, I believe it's the official trailer, but I can't actually remember them using promotional images in that. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Actually, I can see it's a bit blurred there, so I've just now, like, his legs are cropped off there. So my guess is that I've put this together all by myself. And now that I look about it, those explosions are pretty terribly cut in there, so maybe I did that to try and hide the fact that the background is from a different image altogether. Possibly. Who knows? I honestly cannot remember. So that's the cover, pretty nice. Here is the spine with John Hurt. Yes, it's me again. You're probably sick of this segment. Don't worry. When I'm finished as the War Doctor, this segment will be over. Like Gallifrey in the Time War, it'll all be gone. No more Circle John Hurt impressions. No more. Again, I have no idea why I keep doing that. My brain just goes bleh. And here is the back, which kind of gives it away that it's one of mine. And as you could probably see by there, I've actually used an image from the Day of the Doctor when John Hurt's War Doctor's heading to the barn. And because this story is presumably set on a sandy desert, like planet, I thought it fit really well in this image. It looks really... Look at that. That just looks really stunning by there. So there you go. We've looked at the covers. We've looked at the overall opinions on people's perspective of this story and a little bit on the backstory. So, on to the adventure at hand. So the story starts off on a really great note. It's probably one of my favourite openings of a War Doctor story. By far, absolutely love it. And it shows some of the writing talents of which Russell T Davies would be most known for his Dalek stories. Daleks with a great sense of wit. This is something which I could easily imagine the 2005 Bronze Daleks doing in the TV series. Essentially, there's this space station who have... they've basically tried to bargain with the Daleks, saying, right, we have nothing about your war, we don't gonna get involved, so we're just gonna let you know we have 2 Time Lord fugitives on our ship. You can come up here and collect them as long as you come in peace and civilized and not have, just start up. I'll give you the prisoners. And basically, the Doctor and Olistria are prisoner on the ship. We don't know how they got there or anything. Presumably, the Doctor still hasn't gotten into his TARDIS yet since... I'm trying to even remember the last time we've seen the Doctor's TARDIS. The TARDIS doesn't make any appearance in this story, interestingly enough. And... the Dalek time strategist who returns from the previous box set, he opens a communications with the leader of the space station, and I absolutely love it. The leader's like, oh, you got our message about the Time Lords on our ship. The Dalek's like, yes, we have. It's like, okay, good. We can... hopefully we can sort out this in a reasonable and respectable manner. And the Daleks are like, we will. And the Dalek time strategist is just like, turn off communications, destroy the ship with all of our bloody weapons. I bloody love that. That's a fantastic scene and just shows how deadly the Daleks in this are. In fact, the Daleks are very well handled in this story. They are an ominous threat in this story. The Doctor and Olistria, of course, escape through a shuttle bay and land on the planet of... it actually says his name on the back. It doesn't say it again. Bloody hell, these spines are not really... These back covers aren't helpful at all. I believe it's like Bodox or something like that. Where Doctor and Lystria meet up with this character, what's his name? Scrandle, a time war journalist, a time-traveling war journalist who's come onto this planet to get some footage for some news broadcasts of the Time War. And when he comes here, he instantly knows these characters, and he's actually a huge fan of the Doctor. This is one of those characters you just absolutely love to hate. He's such an annoying brat, and he's kind of the silly man to the Doctor and Lystria's more serious natures. I really love like the first 10-20 minutes with them. There's a great moment in which he tells the Doctor to stand completely still, and the Doctor obviously oblige, thinking, you know, it might be something dangerous, you don't know. But then it turns out he just wanted to get a perfect shot for his camera, and he basically makes out that the Doctor is this ultimate hero who will save the day because he's a time-traveling war journalist. His computer, a machine called Editor, it can actually predict the future and knows that there's going to be a part of the Time War out here. Daleks are going to arrive, almost, if not mostly wiping out this small city, but the Doctor will save the day. And the Doctor is, right off the bat, completely fed up with him. I really like the Doctor just turns to Lystria and is like, "Oh, please, Lystria, tell him to shut up." I love, and he just gets on their nerves. But it's played just right that he's clearly a comic relief character, but it's not so unbearable that the annoyance of the Doctor rubs out onto us, and we as an audience member believe that he should be like buggering off. No, he is a pretty fun, interesting character, and I think what balances out is, despite this character being just so annoying to the Doctor and Lystria, and they're just like fed up with him, they kind of need him, as he's accidentally giving out little details about what's happening with what's happening going on and why he's there, because he wasn't supposed to mention the Daleks were going to arrive on this planet, and other little details. And so the Doctor and Lystria's plan is to basically try to evacuate everybody on the planet as quickly as possible, or at least on this small city, because they know the Daleks are going to arrive here. Before that, though, we get this like scene of them like all walking, and this character, I'm just going to call him the reporter from now on because it's much easier to remember. The reporter, he basically tries to get the Doctor and Lystria to talk about like their heroic journeys. The Doctor, the greatest war hero of all time, and the Doctor, obviously not going by the name of the Doctor, basically explains his philosophy that he's not a great hero. Don't believe everything that's been told about him. He's essentially a murderer. He's a warrior. He's killed. He's wounded. He's let people down. He's not. He doesn't like win every battle. He's not this epic, heroic, godlike figure. He's just a man trying to do his best. And the reporter records all this and edits it in a way that it sounds like the Doctor is creating a call to arms for people to fight in the Time War. And the Doctor is absolutely mortified by this. He is disgusted by this. This character is basically making war propaganda for them, and not basically detailing the truth that war is this hell and that it's affected the Doctor on a really personal level. and Doctor and Illustrious have to basically team up with him, because out of everybody, he actually knows the most about this battle that's come in. So the Doctor and Illustrious go to the city, and there's a really great moment where Illustrious and the Doctor talk about how they're going to let people know, and Illustrious is like, find someone in authority, get caught, and then convince people that they're idiots. I know your game, but however, can we please just forget about that and try and find out, try to work this out as a civilized manner? And the Doctor just shouts out to everybody, run for your lives, the Daleks are coming. Let me help you, and I may be able to save some of you. Boom! And Illustrious is like, oh, for God's sakes, Doctor. One day I'm not going to try and antagonise you. The Doctor's like, I hardly doubt that. This is some really great witty dialogue. Guy Adams has proven himself with this story. I believe he wrote Someone I Once Knew, the River Song story with the Fourth Doctor. Or was it Peep Show with the Third Doctor? I can't remember. But we tackled a Guy Adams story from like way back in the marathon, in the early marathon. He's proven himself to be a really great comedic writer. These humorous moments are both hilarious, but also keep into the themes of the War Doctor, and how, despite him being more Doctor than most people, like he basically does deserve the name, the character himself personally doesn't believe so, and puts all the weight on his soldiers. In fact, there's a great scene resembling this in which the Doctor talks to a nameless old man on the road, who basically explains this city is very low on weapons, on shielding. It's been far away from any sort of battle. In fact, they weren't even expecting the Daleks to arrive, because there's seemingly no strategy on taking this planet. And the old man basically proclaims that, like, if he could escape because he doesn't have a vehicle or anything, and the nearest city is 6 days away, he should, like, he doesn't really know what to do, like, he can't really leave. This is the only home he can ever know, essentially. And he basically asks the Doctor, basically, would having these shields, having these weapons, help them against the Daleks? And the Doctor has to truthfully admit, no, it won't help at all, which is a great dark scene. And the old man is like, I've heard stories that you are some sort of hero. The Doctor obviously goes, don't believe everything you hear. And the old man says something interesting. He says, I don't worry. But the kids, the young people, they do. Be wary of that. And he walks off, and the Doctor has this fantastic line to himself. What's that? Oh, nothing much. Just the weight of thousands of lives resting on your shoulders. Again. I really love that scene. It's such a small piece of dialogue, but it really just puts you in the mindset of the War Doctor. He's essentially fed up with just this constant fighting. And sometimes he has it on a much more lighter manner, like he does now, and sometimes it really gets to him. In fact, throughout the story, people are begging him for his help, and it's like, is there nothing we can do to stop the Daleks and keep our people safe and our cities? And the Doctor basically admits, no, there is nothing you can do. All you can do, essentially, is evacuate and hope that some of you will survive as the Daleks attack a majority of people. There's also this small little moment, which I also like, in which the Doctor and Illustrious basically realise the Daleks are coming because of them. And so they come up with this plan, essentially, to call the Daleks as they're going off-world, and basically lead them out away from the planet, not realising that that message could be what sets them firing down on this planet. And the Doctor and Alistria basically have to really second guess themselves, and they don't know what to do, before the reporter basically explains the Daleks, they're already here. Their armed forces are come down to the city to kill anybody because they have information that they've been holding two fugitives. So without really much of a warning, the Daleks start firing and taking out like a majority of people. And it's basically a massive bloodbath. The Doctor sets up these shields, these small little like weather blasts, which only really have two main big blasts in them before they fry out and the Daleks will attack. And everybody keeps praising. It's like, well done, Doctor, you've saved the day. Now we can stay here and stuff. But the Doctor's like, no, this is only a very short-term solution. There's a great moment where he says, the Daleks are a disease, and I've only just put some really small, what's the word? Not vaccine, antibiotics at the problem. It's not only a great dynamic, but it's also a light dynamic that sets up, which makes this a very great setup for a dark box set. As not only is it much more lighter in tone, as the Doctor is just met around with it, there's no grandiose plan. It's basically the Doctor and Alistria, who has appeared in every story so far. So I think it's safe to say that she is a companion. She is the closest thing the War Doctor has to a companion at this point, discounting any surrogate companions that appear in one or two stories. I've completely lost track there, sorry. Everybody keeps praising the Doctor, but the Doctor is just there trying to do his best, but he's obviously going to fail. He's obviously can't stop the Daleks at this point with this city. The best people have chances to evacuate in the vain hope that that at least a handful of people survive. And the Daleks just massacrating him. And the Doctor starts talking to the reporter, who the Doctor is discussing about like his little propaganda piece. And the Doctor essentially is like, people will believe anything in the editing, in the whatever they believe they see, and what you're doing is a bit humane. And then something clicks. What if the Daleks would fall for that trap? And so whilst there's an evacuation going on, the Doctor and the reporter make a video of the Doctor basically telling the Daleks that he has this massive weapon, this cannon, which could easily destroy all of their Dalek ships. So unless they evacuate the planet, he will fire on them. And the Daleks, getting absolutely terrified, track the signal of this video and send every Dalek to this location, only to find out that the Doctor was lying and had secretly set up a device which will destroy all the Daleks in the city as the civilians escape. And it does that, but the explosion destroys the cities and a handful of people in the city. So the Doctor saved most, but not all people. And the leader is actually a bit, I wouldn't say ungrateful, but she isn't as cheerful and thankful to the Doctor and Alistria. Basically set off the ship to make them leave as soon as possible. And the reporter is astonished by this. He's like, how can they be so disrespectful to you? You saved all their lives. But Alistria points out that they lost their homes, they've lost a lot of loved ones because of us. And this reporter then tries to get some footage of the destroyed Dalek ship before the Daleks, a surviving Dalek with its last bolt of energy, shoots and kills the reporter. And the Doctor is then like, you stupid idiot! Why did you have to go back, you fool? And Alistria is like, he's doing his job, like, now you've got to do your job. We've got to fight in the Time War. and we got to get back to Gallifrey. And so the Doctor and Lystria go to the reporter's spaceship, where Editor, who is running the entire ship, has basically got to send this ship on different courses. His next destination is a place in the Obsidian galaxy. And so the story ends up with them heading off to the Obsidian galaxy, whilst the Dalek time strategist has arrived on this planet. They find out, they've actually watched the recording of the propaganda piece in which the Doctor, the edited footage makes it look like the Doctor is basically like saying like, the Daleks are the greatest monsters, fighting them is the only reason worth living, when the Doctor basically was only talking about himself essentially. And the Daleks, especially the time strategist, basically gets agonized by this, and he orders, before leaving and going on the chase from the Doctor, to the Doctor, sorry, he orders basically the destruction of the planet below. All those lives the Doctor had saved, pointless. They died moments later. And that's Pretty Lies. Overall, I honestly don't understand the issue with this story. I had a fun time with this. Again, it's a lot more lighter than usual stories in the War Doctor range. However, it's hugely fun. It still tackles with the stuff I love. In fact, it sees it in a much unique circumstance, as this story deals with essentially people's beliefs and their hopes of the Doctor, the great hero that will save everyone. Whereas the Doctor is essentially trying to let people know that, no, he's not a hero, he's just some guy trying to do his best, but will fail, has failed, and will continue to do is fail. Basically, this Doctor is the most, I wouldn't say the most darkest. I think, from what I've listened to and what I've seen, I would say Sylvester McCoy so far is still the darkest Doctor. But I think John Hurt's Doctor, I think this story really sums it up. His Doctor's the most realistic Doctor. Like, he doesn't go around, running around corridors, making jokes and quirks, being silly all the time. No, this Doctor, he just gets straight to the point and is just annoyed by anybody who tries to take him off in a different direction, or idolizes him as this great hero. He knows that he, despite being a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey and having all these adventures, he's just a guy at the end of the day. He's just a normal individual of the universe. And again, I just really like this story. I honestly don't know what the issue is. Sure, it's a bit lighter and it's a bit more humorous than what we're expecting when it comes to this era. And I think actually the main criticism is that this was the final box set and this is how they opened it. But like I said, this wasn't planned to be the last box set. It just so happened to be the last box set because John Hurt's passing. And I think if it wasn't for that context, this story would have been much better received by the fan base. Or at least, I think so. I honestly don't know. So there you go, that's Pretty Lies. So join me next time, where the Doctor, the War Doctor, gets reintroduced to an old friend. My favourite companion. So join me next time for the Lady of Obsidian, and I'll see you next time on the Doctor Who Marathon, and we get reintroduced to Layla. And I'll see you next time on the Doctor Who Marathon. Ta-da!